Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. You know, this is a very strange situation. I had to leave home. My little studio is a little spot in my residence. And today is a day where people are home, and I really can't speak freely as I would like when I'm speaking to you in a situation like it is at the house today. So I would normally go to a park, and at that park, well, but today the wind is blowing. And I want to say to you what I'm going to say to you. And the most quietest spot was right here at this on-site toilet. And even now you can still hear the wind. But what I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, is the kind of stuff that I have determined that you need to hear. And I'm not going to be your friend for saying it. I'm saying it because it's real and you need it. I only have been out here quite a few years to get this knowledge that I share with you. And I haven't expected any real appreciation from you. And so when I don't get it, it's no big deal. The thing of it is this, ladies and gentlemen, the more you resist the truth, the more I understand how important it is that you get a chance to hear the truth and to some degree see the truth. Many of you are familiar with religion. In America, Christianity, the Bible. In the Bible, they have 7 instances where they gave a message to whomever that reads it that their earth was destroyed one time by water. A lot of people everywhere, they say, but only a few were saved. And that is a statement for all of us today that regardless of what we think about ourselves, how we've lifted ourselves up to be all of this and all of that, that doesn't mean really anything when it comes down to the one who knows the facts. Not alternatives, but the one that knows the facts. And so my information is to give you something else to work with that you don't hear that often. And it is shaped you to be like we are. We think that, some of us think at least, that we're good people. And we aren't. Ever since people rejected God, we have been away from God. Ever since that has happened, that's the where we've been away from God. And the evidence of it is that where God is, there's harmony, there's peace and prosperity, there's joy. And where God is absent, that means something else has replaced God. And those things that you were made to embrace, freedom, to live your dreams. Now everything is foreign to you. You're being abused in an effort to satisfy a new God's dream. See, God's is for you, but the new that we've accepted as human beings here on this earth is and depending upon where you're at, it's governments, it's people, and it takes everybody to make it work. In other words, it takes a downright aggressor, a bully, to walk around and do and talk and stomp, but a bully got no power at all until he comes across a weak link. And that link can be as weak to the nth degree. And that can encompass all of the human species doing what the bully wants. And every nation has its bully, its government. Why do I say that, ladies and gentlemen? Because I have said it, and you still don't understand it. That every government on the face of the earth exists in contradiction to the government of God. There's only one government that allows you to live your dreams. And every last one of you want to live your dreams because in it is satisfaction. But there's only one government, and that is the government of God. That's the government that says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. And that's an invisible God. So the God that you're talking about must be expressed and lived through you. And my friends, everybody is being led by that spirit of love. No racism, no prejudice, no bigotry, no alternative truth, lies and stealing. All of that stuff comes from capitalism, democracy, communism, socialism, kings and queens and bitches and hoes and what and gigolos and preachers and popes. That stuff doesn't come from God. And you know the evidence. But when you're living in a world like this, ladies and gentlemen, every day the stuff continues. But God still loves you. And there are those amongst us that's making steps. I guess that's why we still survive. There are those amongst us that's making steps. The rest of us just going along. Knowing it's causing people pain. You hear right now, oh, you don't even have to think about it. Just in America. I mean, it's like a big monster bully came on the scene in America. Filled with hatred and bigotry and ugliness. But he had no power, just walked on the scene. Confident that in this arena, you kill people and get away with it. What kind of devil is that? Step on the scene, I can kill him and lie for me. My senators will work it out. Good God Almighty, right before the people's face. And there's no law on earth that has been able to stop him. Almost 2 years, I guess. So I'm not just picking on that now. That's just something that's so obvious. But it's no worse than what the Democrats were doing. You say, let me ask you something. You say, many of you think Obama was good, right? Obama did a couple of things that the system allowed and permitted him to do, so you could be kind of pacified. Obama ain't did a damn thing. No, because God's plan is not in operation. Everybody counts. And he makes it possible so you can't complain because everybody got a job. And when you got a job, you're entitled to live. You're entitled to be able to go to school if you need it. You're entitled to have education if you need it. If you got a job, you're entitled to do whatever you want to do because you participate in the process. But when you can't, you're a slave, you're in bondage. And if everybody's doing it, you're in hell. And the only ones that escape this are those who stand up and are killed for standing up, telling the truth. That's the way out of this hell. If you can't stand up collectively and make the changes, then you got to stand and go to the cross by yourself. Are you a part of the shit? Kids are dying. Who cares? People are losing their God-given rights, basic human rights. Who cares? Down here on earth, guided by some men calling themselves somebody. With all of this pain and with all of this suffering, and people are trying to blame one another rather than stand up for the truth. But how can you stand up for the truth when you don't know the truth? The truth is very simple. See others as you see yourself. Look out for others as you'd have others look out for you. In a world like we've been living in all our lives, ladies and gentlemen, that's a foreign language. And if you learn of it, you're going to be walking along, but that's okay. That's how you teach. So I don't know. I think about All of the people that died in all of these wars, you didn't die for God. You didn't die for love. You died for power. You allowed someone to say, pick up a gun and go kill or die trying, when you didn't even have a place to stay. You weren't even called a human being. And I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about anybody that's poor. And you guys go out and die. Your fields out there covered with dead people dying for the devil. How many of you would die? Guarantee that every American, black and white, men and women, straight and gay, whatever, if you want to live here, that you got a job. How many of you would put your life on the line for that? How many of you would put your life on the line to make sure that having that job would allow you to access any and everything that we as people have come together and created for the benefit of meeting needs and wants and desires of we the people? How many of you would put your lives on the line for that? Well, I tell you one thing, if you put your life on the line for that, that's the seed that's being planted, because I declare for God, if they don't change here, they gonna kill you, and you going to a place just like that. Now, going, I don't know what going means. You know, I don't know what that really means, but I'm telling you that God is real. Now, I think I'm gonna stop. Maybe somebody might be outside wanting to use this porta potty. That's what they call this, porta potty. And so I'm going to end it. And I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your time. The Republicans got no answers. Donald Trump has no answers. The Democrats have no answers. You, the people, have the answers. Every last one of you have the answers. If it's 300 million of you, every last one of you got the answer. And every last one of you got the same answer. And that answer is, as you would have it done to you, is how it would be done to others. And you can't fail, because that'll bring you right back to everything I just said. But now, you might see it. Till next time, Mark is saying goodbye.